been around for 3,000 years. Been around for a while, a long while, originally from New Guinea. And a single ulu tree, which can last decades, I don't even know the lifespan of an ulu tree, but generally these trees are producing anywhere from 100 to 200 fruits per year. So 100 to 200 fruits per year, and up to 700 fruits per year in its really optimum environment with the right species, or the right variety growing. And each ulu is probably about an average of 3.5, 4 pounds, some of them up to 13 pounds. So that's a lot of food. Maybe if we can do the minimum, 3.5 times, let's say you just have a tree that produces 100, that's 350 pounds of food per year from a single tree. So it's really an amazing, amazing, amazing fruit. And I really encourage the planting of it. One, because I love it. I absolutely love it. And getting into eating it. One is we all ate it tonight. It's going around right now. There's two different ways that we can eat it. One is green. So this is green. It's hard. It's solid. Really starchy. Potato-like is one common thing Westerners say. It's potato-like. It's just like potato. So you can cook it any way you cook a potato. You can season it any way you season a potato. And then there's another way of eating it, which is more like this kind. You don't hear much, but you can see it's malleable. It's really mushy. Like a rotten avocado, mushy. Maybe even when it's like an avo would be the ideal time. And this one I'll put back on the table back there. But the biggest difference between a potato, if one's like a potato, which is more of a starch and more meant to be eaten. You want to do that? I'll do that. More meant to be eaten, as a starch. This one's meant to be eaten sweet. So I'm not sure what Vince was talking about with putting it in the oven. What are you talking about with it?
Just when it just starts to give. Just starts to give.
Yeah. And this is another one. It's almost like a custardy type stuff. It's really bready in its texture when you eat it, but really sweet, really yummy. I actually prefer it and the salty version of it. Add a little bit of salt, but the sweet thing is one thing people love. People all over the world are taking these fruits and just putting them in the fire, as it is, just whole, putting them in the fire, then peeling them and eating them. Baby food, pies, cakes, super yummy. You can get really creative with this. Come check it out, try it out. You can see the inside of it has the little brown thing in there. That you can cut out of there, and then the rest, really great to eat.
How about, how many varieties do you have at Kahana Gardens in Hama, do you know?
Kahana Gardens has about 120 varieties growing, so which is a lot. There used to be hundreds, and by hundreds, they don't even know, but maybe 300 to 500 varieties of breadfruit used to exist in the world, and they don't even know how many there are right now. But Kahana Gardens has about 120. You can go there, you can walk around and look at it. I know the breadfruit I prepared tonight, which was the starchy variety. So all it was peeled, it was chopped up in cubes and steamed. Put coconut oil on it, put a little bit of salt on it, and that was it. But I had two different varieties, one from my tree and one from another tree. And it was amazing how different they were. The texture, one was a lot creamier, one was a lot sweeter. So you can really tell the difference in some of these varieties. And if you want to plant breadfruit, which I hope some of you do, even on a roadside, just plant a breadfruit, get it out there. Let's just plant food in places, because these things will grow in a forest environment. They love it. But if you're into planting it, just find a tree that you really like, and you like the breadfruit off of it, and you can get a keiki from that tree. And the main way that we end up propagating breadfruit is by a root cutting. So it's vegetatively propagated, but not from the branches or the leaves themselves. It's from the actual roots. And oftentimes at the base of a breadfruit, which every time I see a breadfruit tree, I'm looking at the base of it, and I'm seeing if I see a little keiki tree growing there. And you can actually divide that from the mama tree and plant it. You can pot it up first and take good care of it, nurture it a little bit, let it get its root system established, and then plant that in the ground. You can also dig up a chunk of root and get maybe a couple inch wide piece of root, about a foot, or not even a foot long, maybe about 6-8 inches long, and you can plant that in a pot and let that grow up in the same way. So there's all these ways to get free ones. And one thing I know is I get a lot of people asking me where they can get breadfruits, and Keiki, and there are other nurseries on Oahu and Big Island have them. I know right now there's a grower in Hana who's growing them and selling them to Home Depot. That's 2 varieties that are grown there, so they've had a really ample supply of breadfruit. And it's a great source that he got it from. He actually did it from tissue culture, which is in a lab, is how they were propagated. Yeah, David?
I was just going to ask if there's a particular variety that's better than one or the other.
I'm sure there is, and it's all, with 120 varieties on the island, it's all going to come down to your personal preference. There's a couple of varieties that I end up planting mostly for clients of mine, but only because that's what I can get, what's available quickly. And I don't even want to say them because I want diversity. Like, I want to get away from this. Honestly, there's 2 varieties they're selling at Home Depot. It's the same 2 that the nurseries on Oahu are selling, the nurseries on the Big Island are selling, and we're just narrowing down our food supply. So I'm more into, finding a tree and liking the fruit off of it and expanding that variety. I'll get you.
Kahana Gardens has seedlings available, and they'll also do a request. And so if you go to the East Maui Taro Festival, you'll find them there, and they may have seedlings there.
Awesome. So what Penny was sharing was that Kahana Gardens, you can get seedlings there right now, of a lot of different varieties, I assume. And if you go to the Hanatara Festival, what weekend is that? Is that the
It's April 21st.
April 21st, Hanatara Festival, which we should definitely have that in our scope, a really great event to support. But can get seedlings out there. And as far as the fruiting time for it, when you plant a tree, if the tree is vegetatively propagated, meaning it was from a root cutting, it was from a root division, or it was grafted, or it was air layered, or it was a tissue culture, it's going to be about 3 to 5 years till you get fruit. If you want to do it from seed, you're going to get a much better genetic because there's actually evolution taking place, and it's about 5 to 10 years before you're going to get fruit. So,
Too long.
yeah. Let's see. Oh, so aside from it being prolific, it's also really abundant in nutrients as well. Also high in antioxidants, also high in carotenoids, and wrote these ones down: fiber, calcium, copper, iron, magnesium, potassium, thiamine, niacin are all prolific in breadfruit. And what this tree is doing is this incredible ability to dig deep in the soil for nutrients, bring them up to the surface, and put them in the fruit so that we can have access to them. And beyond the food aspect of it, it's used all over the world right now for construction materials, and it's becoming less and less used because the next generation isn't continuing the propagation of this. But it's been heavily used in buildings, it's been heavily used for canoes, so all through Polynesia, they've used the trunks to make canoes out of through history. So really amazing tree, great agroforestry tree, meaning it mingles well with other trees. It sets up an incredible ecosystem for other trees to exist in, and animals to exist in, birds, all the pollinators, bees, butterflies, bats, which I'm not so sure our bats would interact with it here. And yeah, it's a rockin' one.
Is the pod the seed?
This itself?
Is that the seed?
No, there's actually, when there is seeds, these often don't have seeds. There's another variety in the same family called bread nut, and the bread nut is full of seeds, which are super delicious, super nutritious also.
Flower comes off that the seeds are in, or how do you?
No, what this is 1,500 to 2,000 flowers all in here. So every little thing on the surface is a separate flower. Yeah. I guess it could be inside out. Yeah, but through it, you have all these little striations coming out. So they're all the flowers. So 1,500 to 2,000 flowers in each one of these things. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and the pollinators will love it. These flock to these flowers. I believe. Rockin'. All right. Thank you all.